What do you think data scientists, people that are employed as a data scientist, what can they learn from product managers or entrepreneurs who validate their ideas? Do you see any parallels, or what are some takeaways that
Oh, for
data scientists can
sure.
learn?
Yes, of course. So I'm coming out with a product soon, or it's going to come out in workshop format called the Value Prop Articulator. And definitely, for sure, a lot of data professionals mention that they don't know how to articulate the value proposition of their offer or the project or the product they're thinking of. So they are, and it's, if you've been delivering data services, then it's very easy to be focused on the details and not see the big picture, right? So, but in order to really get ahead in your career, you need to get incremental wins for the company and you need to deliver ROI for the company, right? So it all comes down to really stepping back and finding, okay, like, in collecting data about who your stakeholders are. So your stakeholders then are going to be your customers. And, you know, especially if you have a squeaky wheel, that's some person, if you have a squeaky wheel, someone who is, you know, obstinate about data in general, then that person would be the person you want to go and really have some deep conversations with, understanding like what it is they really think and need and want, and cater a whole, you know, cater your product or your project around their requirements, because they're going to be, you know, they're going to be basically the limiting factor. So you want to like identify who is a limiting factor here and make sure you accommodate for their needs and expectations in the very beginning. And then when you're going ahead to pitch your idea for your product, you want to have very clear messaging about, you know, about the benefits and features of the product or the project, and get sign off from stakeholders. And then you can go ahead and build a technical plan and then get sign off on that. And then when you get sign off on your technical plan, then you can start building. So the problem with implementation people is, and I've done this, of course, I've done this myself. It's a trap of implementation work. We get these ideas about this would be cool, so start building. And it's not actually cool at all. And like business people are like, dude, like, you know, you've got to think like a business owner. So a business owner is like, okay, I'm paying like how many, I'm paying all this money, and this person's just like wasting time. They have no idea about the business, the ROI, you know, because they're not trained to like think that far. You know what I'm saying? So it's really, it takes a reframing. It's why I'm creating a 6-hour workshop on this, walking through people through the whole series of like customer interviews, and then customer personas, and then your MVP and your MMP, and then pitching your project to the leadership. But then even they're going to say, yeah, if you do a great job, they're going to say yes. But that doesn't mean you start, you know, like then you need to do technical plans, so like what technologies, and like there's just so much planning that's required that they don't generally teach anywhere. And most if you've been taking like coding courses on Udemy, you're just not going to think to do that stuff. But it's super important to protect the investment that the business is making in technologies, data resources, and, you know, skill sets, personnel, which are very expensive, you know. So if you, one more thing I will say is, if you're going to go to college and invest $100,000 on an education, you're going to take a look around, right? You're going to look around at the options, and you're going to do an assessment of the market. It's the same thing with a new data project. Like that's what technical planning comes down to, is like, so it's not your $100,000, but it's your company's. So like, there's got to be a thorough assessment of the alternatives before jumping in.